Hi everyone, it's Ravenswood from the Ravenswood podcast. I am super excited to bring one of our players all the way beaming back live from Brisbane in Australia. I'm currently in London, in Wembley, ready for the Champions League final Saturday the 1st of June. And I believe we've got Maya Allsop on the line. Hey Maya, how are you?
Good, thank you. How are you?
Very well, thank you. Now, for our listeners who are watching on in, can you just tell everyone your age, where you are from, and the position that you play?
Hi, I'm Maya Allsop. I'm currently 14 years old. Will be turning 15 in July. And I'm living in Logan currently, and I play sixth position.
Very good. Now, you've been involved in football since what age? What age did you start playing, Maya?
I started playing at 9.5 with my dad as my coach, so don't really know if that counts, but...
That's good. And you were from Yeppoon, which is up in central Queensland by Rockhampton originally, and you played community-based football. Now, just to explain the reason why we've got you on our podcast and why we're doing this mini episode is just to show with a little bit of hard work and consistency on how anyone can make it as a football player if they follow our pathway. Now, we obviously met your mum through Gary Skinner, who was one of your coaches. And I'll just get it on record. Unfortunately, Gary Skinner is a Chelsea fan. So he's not a Liverpool fan like me and Maya. So he's unfortunately not as blessed as us as Liverpool fans, because we are at the Champions League final and Liverpool have won it 6 times. I believe Chelsea have only won it twice. That's correct, isn't it, Maya?
Yeah.
Just to remind Gary Skinner of that one. Now, you obviously, I worked with Gary Skinner up in central Queensland many years ago, and I was introduced to your mum and to yourself through Gary, and he said he was a player up in central Queensland that had a little bit of potential but needed some help with a football. Now, we actually got you onto our professional player pathway just under 12 months ago. So for everyone who's listening in, can you just tell us a little bit about how you found the program and what's been some of the best parts so far?
So I was training with Gary and he told me about you, and I was so excited and I was so thankful that I was part of the program. It's just so amazing. It's helped me immensely. Like, my training's gone from only 2 training sessions a week to up to 14, 15 hours, which is amazing. And then I've gotten this opportunity to move to Brisbane from Yeppoon and play at such a high level. And it's just helped me improve so much. The portal, it's so great. It shows me what objectives I need to work on before my games and stuff like that. It's just amazing overall.
So from your opinion, May, this is a program that you believe anyone can work from anywhere on the planet. Is that what you're saying?
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing. Now, for our listeners and people watching this podcast and tuning in, we've got a remotely based program called the Professional Player Pathway. And on the Professional Player Pathway, players from the ages of about 8 and 9 all the way through to 23 years of age can join us. We've got 7 pillars to the program. The reason why the program was created and designed was by me. I've worked in the game of football for over 25 years. I've worked for some of the biggest teams like Liverpool, Leicester City, Paris Saint-Germain. I used to work for some of the biggest coaches in the game. I used to work for Carlo Ancelotti, who's now the Real Madrid coach, when I was in France. Also, we've been heavily involved in the world game and developing players all around the planet. Now, one of the big things that we wanted to make sure people were aware of as well is that this program can be done from anywhere in the world. Everything is done remotely based. And just to prove the proof's in the pudding, so we discovered you, Maya, in sunny central Queensland where it's very hot and sticky. You were playing community-based football, and you've since gone down to Brisbane. You are now pretty much playing at the highest level that you can play in Brisbane. That's correct, isn't it? And you're currently playing with Logan?
Yes, and amazing.
In the NPL. And then one of the things that we do and offer as one of the pillars on the program is once you've hit a certain benchmark of objectives and you have been completing your objectives to make it and show to us that you're at a standard good enough to go for a trial to the UK and Europe. Have you? Can you explain a little bit about what's happening with you next year and where you're going?
So next year I'm going to be going over and I'm going to be trialing or just visiting, seeing everything in the UK. It's going to be amazing and got to put in the training and the effort.
Amazing. So just for, again, those listeners and people watching this, Maya is going to be going on some trials in January to the UK, but also she's going to be going on trials in June, July as well to France and Spain. Maya is one of our more successful players who's really getting through the program and getting through the objectives. And once you get to a certain benchmark, we then open up opportunities for players. One of the big things that we don't do is just open up opportunities for players just because players tell us they're good enough or because their mum and dad tell us they're good enough. It gives us an indication of where they're at and how good they are. We can actually ascertain the level that players are at. And then once we see certain benchmarks are met on the 7 pillars of the program, we can then open up the trials. So I want to ask you, Maya, the UK in January, where it's like middle of summer and it's freezing cold here at the moment, or going to Spain and France in June, July, is there a particular country you're really looking forward to go on trial?
I can't pick. It's just oh, that's hard. Well, I've always wanted to go to the UK and stuff like that. Liverpool is a dream of mine, and although PSG was my favourite team, I think Liverpool's overcome that, and it's definitely going to be the UK trip.
That's amazing. So hopefully, once you get your across on the trials next year, we can open up 1 or 2 opportunities for you, and then by the time you're 16 years of age, the plan is to be playing professional football in Europe. Is that the dream?
Definitely, yeah.
And I'm sure Mum's going to want to go with you and live overseas in Europe as well, isn't she?
Yeah, I think so.
Now, before we let you go and we finish off, May, we've got a couple of minutes to go, but just for our listeners listening in, and especially for any young girls watching, do you recommend this program to players who are watching this?
Yeah, of course. It's just amazing help. Without it, I definitely wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be able to go overseas and do, complete my dreams and do stuff like that. So, yeah, it's definitely a good thing to get on.
That's amazing. And are you going to be okay with your mum following you all around Europe, following your career?
Yeah, I couldn't have done it without her either. So,
oh, that's amazing. So a big thank you, May, for joining us for this mini podcast. We wish you well. Obviously, we're going to be monitoring your journey. And for those guys who are watching and listening in as well, once a player makes it and they get an opportunity into the UK and Europe and they're with a pro club or on a scholarship opportunity, the journey's not over on the pro player pathway. You're on the program for a minimum of 4 years. We do have bumps sometimes in the road. We have obstacles we have to get over. We have had players who are on the program have been released from clubs, and part of this pro player pathway is to open up more opportunities. So if things don't always go to plan, we can assist and help. So we wish you well, Maya. We're super excited. We're so happy to have you on the program, and we look forward to watching your football career develop over the next couple of years.
Thank you so much for having me.
Now, Maya, before you go, I'm going to ask you one more question. Big game tonight. Real Madrid versus Borussia Dortmund. Can you give me a score prediction? And also, can you even tell me who you think the first goal scorer might be?
So, I'm a big Real Madrid fan, so I'm going to say a 2-1 win for us. And I think Jude Bellingham's going to score the first goal.
Okay, so you heard it here first, guys. Jude Bellingham, first goal. Real Madrid 2, Borussia Dortmund 1. And I think that's going to make a lot of Real Madrid fans happy if that's the case.
Definitely.
So a big thank you, Maya. Stay safe, keep well, say hello to Mum and Dad, and we'll be in touch over the coming weeks.
Will do. Thank you for having me.